I turned 100 last March, and I'll tell you something that might make your jaw drop. My doctor told me at 62 that I probably wouldn't see 70. Said my blood pressure was a wreck, my joints were going, and my family history wasn't exactly encouraging. That was 38 years ago. That doctor's been in the ground for 20 of 'em, and here I am, still cooking my own breakfast every morning, still sharp enough to beat my great-granddaughter at cards, and that girl cheats. My name is Odessa Mae Hargrove, born 1925 in Nacogdoches, East Texas, taught school for 31 years, raised 4 children, buried a husband I loved more than breathing, and outlived all 7 of my siblings. I ain't some medical marvel. Nobody in my family made it past 82 except me. What I had was a garden, a kitchen, and the good sense to listen to what my body was telling me. And what I put in this body, not perfectly, Lord knows, but consistently over decades, is what kept me here when so many others didn't make it. I'm gonna tell you about 5 foods that saved my life. Not fancy foods, not expensive, just plain, humble things most people walk right past at the store. And I'll tell you what each one did for this old body, because I didn't read about it, I lived it. First, sweet potatoes. I grew up on sweet potatoes because we had no choice. Mama pulled them right out of the red clay behind our house, still warm from the sun. We ate them baked, mashed, fried, in pies, in soup. We ate them because we were poor and they grew without much fuss. I didn't know for decades that I'd been eating one of the most powerful foods on earth simply because we couldn't afford anything better. Sweet potatoes are packed with beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A. It keeps your eyes working, your skin healing, your immune system on guard. But here's what nobody talks about. Sweet potatoes are anti-inflammatory. They calm the quiet little fires burning inside your body as you age. And child, when you get old, your body is full of those fires in your joints, your arteries, your gut. Chronic inflammation ages you from the inside out long before it shows on the surface. I watched people my age swell up, stiffen, and shut down. Most of them lived on white bread and fried everything. I eat one nearly every day, baked with butter and cinnamon. I believe those sweet potatoes are why my eyes still work and my knees still bend when they had every reason to quit. Second, sardines. People always make a face. My husband Earl ate them straight from the tin with saltine crackers on the back porch like it was a 5-star dinner. I told him he smelled like a fishing dock. He'd laugh and say, "Dessa, these little fish are gonna keep me alive forever." He was wrong about himself, God rest him, but he might have been right about the fish. Around 58, a nurse told me I needed more omega-3 in my diet. She said eat salmon. Salmon was expensive, so I bought what Earl bought, sardines, less than $1 a can. Those tiny fish are powerhouses. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation and protect your brain from shrinking. And yes, your brain does shrink as you age. That is a documented fact. Omega-3s slow it down. Sardines also contain calcium and vitamin D built right in because you eat the little soft bones. That's bone protection. After 70, a broken hip can put you in the ground faster than most diseases. I lost my neighbor Dorothy that way. Fell on a wet kitchen floor, broke a hip, gone in 6 weeks. 62 days from standing at her sink to a funeral. I eat sardines 2 or 3 times a week now. Toast, hot sauce, lemon. You get used to it, and your bones will thank you when you're 90 and still walking to the mailbox on your own 2 feet. Third, collard greens. Oh, Lord have mercy. I could preach about collards till the sun goes down. My grandmother Big Mama cooked 'em every Sunday. Low heat, ham hock, onion, splash of vinegar, and the pot liquor, that dark, rich broth at the bottom. She poured it in a cup and drank it like tea, said it was her medicine. Everybody laughed at her. She wasn't joking. Collard greens are rich in vitamin K, which your blood needs to clot and your bones need to stay dense. Calcium without dairy. Folate for your cells. Fiber to keep everything moving the way it should. And a compound called sulforaphane found in cruciferous vegetables, collards, broccoli, cabbage. What sulforaphane does is help your cells clean out their own internal damage. Think of it like taking the trash out of every room in your house. If you never do it, things start to rot. That's exactly what happens inside your body when you skip your greens year after year after year. My sister Pauline wouldn't touch a vegetable her whole adult life. Had a massive stroke at 68 and never fully came back. Spent her last years in a chair staring at a television she couldn't follow. I can't swear greens would have changed that. I ain't God, but I know what I ate, and I know who's still sitting here talking to you right now. I eat dog greens 5 or 6 days a week, cooked low and slow, and I always drink the pot liquor. Big Mama knew what she was doing. Fourth, blackberries. Wild blackberry bushes grew along our back fence. Every July, we'd go picking and come home with purple fingers and arms all torn up from thorns, juice running down our chins. Mama made cobbler, but we ate most of 'em standing right there in the afternoon heat. Dark berries, blackberries, and blueberries are full of compounds called anthocyanins. That's what gives them the deep color. And what anthocyanins do is protect your brain. Real studies at real universities show that older adults who eat berries regularly experience slower cognitive decline. Your memory holds, your thinking stays clear, you stay yourself for longer. That's what frightens me most, if I'm being honest with you. Not dying, losing my mind, forgetting my grandchildren's names, forgetting how Earl used to hum while he washed the dishes. I've watched friends disappear behind their own eyes, still breathing but gone. And it is the cruelest thing I have witnessed in 100 years of living. So I eat my berries every single morning, a handful on oatmeal. Frozen is perfectly fine. Your brain doesn't care if they're pretty, it just needs them there. Fifth, fermented buttermilk. Not the stuff in most stores today, which is basically thickened cultured milk. I mean real buttermilk with live cultures in it, or plain yogurt with active cultures, or sauerkraut. The point is food that's alive with beneficial bacteria. Your gut has trillions of microorganisms, trillions. They help you digest food, they manufacture vitamins, they communicate with your immune system, they even send signals to your brain that affect your mood and your sleep. When that ecosystem is healthy, everything works. When it gets wrecked by too much sugar, too many rounds of antibiotics, too much processed food, everything falls apart. Digestion, energy, mood, all of it unravels. My mama drank a small glass of buttermilk every single evening of her life. I picked up that habit in my 40s and never once stopped. I believe that's why my stomach still works at 100 years old. No antacids, no digestive misery. 60 years of feeding my gut what it needed. Now, I need you to hear this last part because it matters more than any food I just named. These 5 foods did not save me by themselves. Food is not magic. You can eat every sweet potato on this earth and still die young if you carry bitterness in your heart, if you never move your legs, if you sit alone in a dark room and let the loneliness swallow you whole. I've watched healthy eaters die angry and forgotten, and I've seen folks who ate nothing but junk live to be old because they laughed every single day and loved somebody with everything they had. What these foods gave me was a fighting chance. They kept my bones from crumbling. They kept my brain remembering the people I love. They kept the muscle in my chest pumping steady and strong. But the real thing that kept me alive is purpose. Getting up every morning with something to tend to, watering my plants, calling my grandbabies, sitting on this old porch watching the birds come to the feeder Earl built me in 1987. The wood's all gray and weathered now, but it's still standing, just like me. Feed your body right, and then give it a reason to keep going. That's the whole secret, sugar. That's everything I know. Now, go eat something that grew from the ground, child, and call your grandmother while she's still here to pick up the phone.